at the end of the day, whatever happened to you, how you decide to move on now in your life is a choice. This is Alyssa. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to overcome the victim mentality. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. This channel is all about learning to recognize yourself again and live life confidently after experiencing a toxic relationship. So if that resonates with you, go ahead, click that subscribe button below and click the bell so you can be notified when my next video drops. Okay, let's get into today's topic, overcoming the victim mentality. So, first things first, in order to overcome the victim mentality, I really had to learn that your mind is powerful, okay? I had to learn that I cannot just think and meditate on all the negative things that happen. And yes, it's good to reflect. It's good to listen to those emotions and feel them. But at the end of the day, if you meditate on the negative all the time, you are literally making new neurological connections in your brain that's connected to the negative things that happen to you. That's the nerdy way of saying if you meditate on negative things, it's literally just going to program your mind to continue that negative process. And I know you don't want to get stuck in the negative or the downside of what happened in your past or where you're currently at in life. We all want to move forward. So one is recognize that your mind is powerful. Meditate on the good things. Try to have positive thoughts. Reflect, but be mindful of how you're reflecting. Is it for a good, healthy benefit of learning yourself? Or are you just meditating on the negative things for fun? You don't want to do that. 2 is the power of choice. I know that this is a hard one for people to accept when they are still in that healing journey and they really don't want to let it go, or just they're not clear on how to let it go. But you have a choice. At the end of the day, whatever happened to you, how you decide to move on now in your life is a choice. There is a process of healing where, yes, you're going to grieve, you're going to have to process your emotions, but there does come a time where you have to make a intentional choice that you're not going to let this dictate your present or your future, and you're going to figure out how to maneuver out of that. It's a choice, and if you neglect the fact that you have a choice, that life is just happening to you, at you, and thinking that you're the only one, then you are more likely to have a victim mentality. So it was really important for me to know that at the end of the day, I have a choice on whether or not I want to move forward, whether or not I want to continue to meditate on what happened or not. You have a choice. Number 3 is release yourself from anger or bitterness, okay? The people that have a victim mentality, more than likely, they are literally holding on to anger and bitterness. They have not forgiven. They have not released themselves from holding that anger and bitterness inside of them. You have to release that in order to see life in a different way. Anger is kind of like a lens, okay? If you are wearing glasses, for instance, you got on an angry filter in your glasses, you're going to see life a lot differently through the lens of anger than with peace So it's important that you release anger. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to the bitterness. Don't let it continue to fester. Don't let it continue to trigger you. Release it. Forgive them so that you could be free. And just a side note, because I had a twisted version of what forgiveness was. So if that's you, don't worry, I got your back. Forgiveness does not mean that you have to reconcile the relationship. Forgiveness does not mean that you have to basically say that they did nothing wrong. Nope, it could have still been wrong. What forgiveness is releasing that person, letting God deal with them, letting what happens to them, letting it go, not even caring, and choosing to look on you instead. Also, forgiveness is releasing them so you don't hold on to them, because like that's just going to make you angry and bitter. And there's this quote, I always butcher quotes, but there's this quote that says that it's like drinking poison expecting someone else to like die from it. Like, no, they're not going to be affected by you holding on to them. That doesn't affect them. That affects you. So forgive them, release them, let God deal with them, and focus on yourself, because you have things that you want to do in your life and you want to move on. So forgive them. Lastly, in order to overcome the victim mentality, you have to be mindful of your words. I think there's like this verse in the Bible. I will link it in the description box along with some other resources, so make sure that you check out the description box below. But I believe that there's this scripture that basically says that your words are like a honeycomb. Like they could be a honeycomb, or it could be like something angry. I know I'm butchering that. That's like the Alyssa version of the Bible. But it is basically saying that certain words will be sweet, or they will be like basically fire. Like you're either going to speak life or death. Like you're either going to build up yourself, build up your mind, build up your body, or you're going to tear it down by the words that you use. So make sure that you are being mindful of the words that are coming out of your mouth. If you know that you're healing, that you're still holding on to some anger, some bitterness, like say it in your head first. Like I have become like a pro at that. Say it in your head first, and then you could put it in a filter while it's still in your head, but you didn't say it. So you could say it in your head, and then you're like, nope, that wasn't right. I'm going to change that, because healing or changing your mentality is very intentional. It requires some discipline. So be mindful of what you're speaking into the atmosphere. Try not to speak negative all the time, and eventually like it will get easier and easier. You will just find that you're not speaking negative on your situation or your life or anything like that. You'll be thinking more positive. So that is 4 ways that you can overcome the victim mentality. I hope that this helped. And again, click that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified of my next video. Until next time, happy healing.